Albert Einstein once said, "Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of a lifelong attempt to acquire it." Hello, I'm Jonathan Nolan, and I'm here today to talk about proper CPR and the use of the autopulse, and also hit on some causes of why you need to do CPR. So when do you need to do CPR? Well, the answer is when the person has no pulse, which is called sudden cardiac arrest. Some of the causes of sudden cardiac arrest, according to www.nhlbi.nih.gov, says there's several. One of them is arrhythmias, such as ventricular fibrillation. Basically, that's the heart just quivering. It's not perfusing the body, the brain, or the heart. If it's not treated within minutes, it is fatal. Another cause of SCA, is coronary heart disease. Coronary heart disease is basically plaque buildup in coronary arteries. Over time, it gets built up so much that a chunk will break away, causing a clot, which in turn causes a heart attack. When they have a heart attack, then you have tissue death, which causes arrhythmias, which could cause SCA. Another one is physical stress. Super intense physical stress produces and releases adrenaline, which can trigger SCA in people who already have heart problems. Another one is inherited disorders. Tendency for arrhythmias to be passed down from generation to generation is possible. One example would be long QT syndrome, which predominantly is what causes sudden cardiac arrest in children. And structural changes in the heart, hypertrophy or an enlarged heart, which could be caused from high blood pressure, advanced heart disease. Another thing that can cause structural changes in the heart is infection. And those are all possible causes of SCA. So the key to survival is immediate CPR and early defibrillation. So according to the BLS for Healthcare Providers and Student Manual and www.heart.org, for an adult CPR, first thing you want to do before you do CPR is make sure they don't have a pulse, because nobody likes getting CPR performed on them if they have a pulse. It's not very comfortable. Once you do that, if you're by yourself, call 911 and then start your CPR. But if you have other people that can run, have them call CPR and look for an AED if there's one possible. The next thing you want to do is make sure the patient's on a hard, flat surface. You don't want to do it on a bed or anything like that. It's just going to take away from the production of the CPR. You want to get to the victim's side, put one hand on the chest, put the other hand on top of that, interlock your fingers. Keep your arms straight, your shoulders above your hands. Then you start compressions. Now, for compressions, you want to do 100 beats a minute. Push hard, push fast. If you're going to breathe for them, you're going to do 30 compressions, 2 breaths. If you have another person there, you definitely want to switch after 2 minutes because you're going to get tired. It will wear you out. And the best thing for the patient is to have someone fresh doing CPR. You want to, when you push down, you want to go 2 inches in depth. Allow the chest to really coil back before you start your compressions again. If you're having trouble thinking of how to do it, how to keep 100 beats a minute, think of the song from the Bee Gees, Staying Alive. Go with the beat of the song. There is another song that kind of has the wrong message. Another one, Bites the Dust. Don't say it. Just keep it in your head. Same beat. So you can do that. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate a little bit. So, person falls out. You check for a pulse and they're carotid. They don't have a pulse. Get them to a hard, flat surface. We'll pretend this is the ground. Place one hand in between their nipples on their chest. The other hand on top. Interlock. Arms straight. Shoulders above the arms. And start compression. Allow the chest to come back up. Get to 30 compressions. And open up the airway. And breathe in over 1 second or until you see chest rise. And after your second breath, immediately start your CPR. Now after a few minutes, hopefully 911 or EMS will show up, and you might see them carrying one of these. This is the Zoll AutoPulse. What this does is it does compressions for you. In 2003, Zoll AutoPulse was FDA approved and sent out on the market. I've used it several times. It doesn't always work. There's issues sometimes, batteries, whatnot. But when it does work, it works good. The reason people like it is instead of just pushing down on the center of the chest, it actually squeezes the whole chest, which creates more perfusion, gets more blood, oxygen-rich blood to the brain and the heart by doing that. It also frees up one person so they can focus on another aspect of saving the person's life, whether it be intubating the patient or shocking the patient or even driving. It's a good tool, and I will demonstrate that in just a second. One of the studies from www.zoll.com shows a 9.7% survival while using the AutoPulse compared to 2.9, which is manual CPR. Now, I didn't really hit on the longevity of the survival, so I'll go ahead and demonstrate this. These are your bands. And as far as I know, like when you do CPR, you're going to hear crackling and possible bones breaking. From the studies I've read, they've had no cases documented of it breaking ribs or hurting the patient. So we get the patient on there. Those who want to cooperate. So now I'm turning it on. It'll fit to the size. And once it's ready, I'm going to push start. And as you can see, it's starting to compress now, which frees up somebody to go ahead and move on to saving their life. Once we get them intubated, we can switch to continuous. Otherwise, it'll stop after 30 compressions. It'll beep, and I'll tell you to go ahead and breathe for them. So that is the AutoPulse. So 92% of people suffer from sudden cardiac arrest die before reaching the hospital. Statistics prove that more people know CPR and perform it correctly, the more people's lives are can be saved. Immediate CPR can double, even triple a victim's chance. Someone you may know may experience sudden cardiac arrest, whether it's a family or a friend. The best thing you can do is take a class, get certified, and be prepared. If something like that does happen, you'll know just what to do, and you'll increase the chances of seeing your friend or family member again. Basically, over the last few minutes, we've talked about sudden cardiac arrest, CPR, and the AutoPulse. After listening to me today, I hope that you realize the importance of proper CPR and getting certified. I want to thank you guys for your time.